Welcome back. We're still looking at the impact of COVID-19 on trade, and the Honorable Minister of Trade herself is with us in the studio. How much impact? Is it possible now to weigh the scale of impact of this crisis? And besides, is there any recovery strategy in place? Well, Honorable, we've dug deep into the dangers that the country is stuck in. Do you see any silver lining, any beautiful side that we can look at during COVID?
Yes. During or after? During, when I, sorry.
It's fine, it's fine.
I've gone local. So, yes, there's a silver lining. First of all, instead of thinking about food, I know you always say, Olubuto, I mean, my stomach. Let's start planning that when COVID ends, we have, how many days have we gone now? 9 days. Well, how many days left?
I think we're about 14 days.
Yes. So we have about 14 days left. I think what we should do now is to start planning.
12 days.
I mean 12.
Yes, I don't want
Where
to
do you want to go
math.
from today? You must thank God that we are alive. When you look at Europe, when you look at America, these are developed countries, Canada, they are just talking about deaths, so many deaths per day, 700, 800, 600. So I pray that you who has got life, you who still has your head, you who is still sane, let's start planning for the future. Where do I want to go? How do I improve on my business? Agriculture is key for you who is staying in the village. But I think also you should shift, let us migrate from the cities. Of course, I know we come to the cities to look for employment, to have something to do every day. But you can do better things. You can do carpentry, we can train you to do carpentry and we support you. We can train, because the president had started that program. So we can still train you to do sewing or stitching. There are so many opportunities.
You're skilling.
Skilling. Skilling is very important. So agriculture, skilling, employment might be a bit difficult, but then there are also other opportunities in the country that you can look at. For example, tourism. This is a broader one, but it has so many angles to it. Because now, all these millionaires who have been locked up in this quagmire of this would like to run away from this trauma. And Uganda has come out as the best destination because of the low prevalence of COVID, of the low infection rate, and the fact that we have not had it. So there is a secret there. So now all these millions are going to look at you, Uganda. So you are going to ask me, how am I coming in? These are opportunities we should develop because they are going to look at our culture. You can organize a cultural group and we rehire you out to different functions or to different parks so that you can, we can improve on our tourist sites. Of course, that is for government. But that one definitely, we're going to have an influx. Another area, of course, this is going to be a very attractive destination for FDIs. That is employment for you. Now, foreign direct investments are going to keep coming in to establish factories, to do business, because they have looked at the resilience we have had as people. They've looked at the resilience the country has had. They've looked at our economic survival at the moment. Because when you compare our economy to other countries, definitely Uganda is doing very well.
Are we resilient?
So there is a silver lining.
Yes.
Yes, we are resilient. As people, we are resilient. The fact that we have
is the economy resilient to absorb the shocks?
The economy is resilient to absorb the shocks, because if you can still go in our shops and find goods there, if people, of course, people are hungry, that is also another issue. But you can see that life has gone on. When you go to other economies, I have an auntie in England who called me and told me that our life has come to a standstill. That there is nothing in the shops. You go to buy bread, you are not supposed to buy more than one piece. If you are going to buy sugar, you're not supposed to buy more than 1 kilo. But at the moment, you can see that our shops still have goods. When the industries resume, I know most of the industries are under maintenance. When they resume, definitely there will be employment for you. It might be at a low scale first, but we will definitely pick up.
Do you see normalcy returning in the immediate aftermath of this COVID-19? Or it's going to take us some time?
Well, the longest time might be about, I think the longest time might be about 6 months. But what I would like to appeal to Ugandans, those who have gone in villages to villages, especially those who are earning their daily income, if you have a small piece of land, at least do some farming. We are going to step up disbursement of seeds, seedlings. Do some farming in the village. And farm, for example, in my area, people are selling vegetables, growing vegetables and selling them. They are highly marketable and they are making money. And in future, cross-border trade is another area that you should think about.
Well, I'm glad you're talking cross-border trade. It actually drives me to what I was about to ask you.
Because now,
the issue of truck drivers who are now becoming the new hotspot in the spread of COVID-19.
Well, that is an issue that has become very, very controversial. We have a meeting on Friday because there were certain schools of thought whereby some people were saying that when they get to the border, a Ugandan should take over and drive up to another border and a Sudanese takes over. But that doesn't work.
It's not practical.
It's not practical. There are several schools of thought. Other schools of thought are that we could do... This process of doing tests at the border has been going on, but it is taking a long time.
Or with some bit of
mismanagement. It has delayed, yeah. It has delayed our cargo. But we are thinking of other ways. We are still battling with it. Do we have one driver, two drivers, one and a co-driver? These are still issues that we have not fully exhausted.
Or we can suspend cargo for a while. Is it feasible?
No, it's not feasible. It's not feasible because if you have fuel, we need fuel. Most of this cargo is carrying fuel. We need equipment. Some of them are carrying equipment. Inputs in factories. Well, these are basic needs that we need. The economy has to go on. And the fact that we still have a cargo flow is also one way of survival. That shows that the economy is surviving because other countries, all these things have come to a standstill.
So closing cargo for now, would it be wise?
No, it's not wise.
Are there any other areas that you feel need to be loosened a bit in these lockdown measures?
I was thinking, for example, like this cargo issue, it's just a proposal I think we might be able to discuss, is that to test people from the point of origin. For example, if I'm coming from Uganda here, we say now, don't go before we test you. Let's do a test, and then we communicate electronically to the others where you're going, if you're going to Kenya, and we communicate electronically and say, we have tested so and so, these are the results. So all these things. But in this lockdown, I think we could start, well, this is my thinking, it's not government. We could start opening up some of the businesses gradually. Some.
Like?
But we highlighted some of, let me take you back to some of the ones that were allowed to open. For example, communication was allowed to open, media, food, transport. We could look at transport was also allowed, cargo especially, health, those were allowed. But we could open up some of these professional bodies because they employ a lot of people. For example, like legal firms, consultative bodies, Because they employ a lot of people.
So you're moving for a gradual easing of the lockdown.
But it's not me. I mean, it's not government.
It's your idea. It's your
my idea. And then they can open up.
You raised issues about the sluggishness of food testing, the processes. Could you throw more light on this?
I wouldn't call it sluggishness in a way, because they're doing their best. It's just because there are too many, the people, the trucks that are coming in. And it is a process. It takes a while though. It's a process, because by the time they test you, then you take that swab. Of course, the challenge is the results. You can't get the results immediately. Because the results you have to take the samples to the lab, and it takes a while to know whether you're a victim or not. But that is not my area, so I cannot claim to be an expert in that.
As a Minister of Trade, when you talk about the pack that you have for the traders and for the business community, do you really think there is a better way in which you can engage the business community nationally with having a national outlook? Because you've talked about Casita, there are several other entities all over the country. Do you have any plan to meet them and speak about the mitigative measures?
Yes, we're going to do. We are doing that. For example, Uganda Manufacturers Association, we've been engaging them online. Online, yeah, because of the social distance. Casita also, we need to engage them and listen to them. We haven't actually during the lockdown, but that is a program I want to look at. But the challenge also is amongst us, it's a weakness in a way, is lack of synergies. Because now we might find finance meets them today, then another. I think we need a concerted effort to resolve their issues. We get together, agriculture, finance. These are the lessons that I'm telling you that we have to learn to work together to solve people's problems, instead of us meeting them separately. Today they go to State House, tomorrow they go to finance. The other day, you hear they are in another ministry. And then at the end of the day, you don't know how to help them.
You're not synergized.
Yeah, so that is another area that is also another lesson that we have learned, that we have to improve upon.
There's lately been a huge debate around second-hand clothes. What would be your point? What would be your stance on this? UNBS had initially banned the importation, had put a temporary ban on the importation of Mivumba.
I think it was a bit premature, because we're still developing the textile industry. We have only 2 factories, Fine Spinners and Naitu. And that is an issue we've been battling with. It's not that we want Ugandans to wear second-hand clothes. We really want them to get out of it. But UNBS has been taking very stringent measures in ensuring that they bring in quality staff. And they had managed to ban things like underwear, some of those sensitive things. And then they go through PIVOC. They test all those products. And you must have, after PIVOC, testing your goods from the point of origin, you must have a fumigation certificate to prove that all those things you're bringing in are fumigated. And then we took deliberate action against it and imposed an excise duty on second-hand clothes. So my feeling is that it should be a gradual process, because we had already taken those measures and we're moving to another measure. I know UNBS brought in this thing of COVID and what.
And it raised a lot of dust.
Yes, but how can you determine COVID when these clothes that are coming in were already on the high seas? And these other countries banned exportation from January. So there's that one, we have not fully agreed with each other. And I feel that we should give it more time so that we attract more textile industries to be able to meet the domestic demand of our people. Because now if we ban these second-hand clothes, you remember we attempted at one time and we had issues with AGOA. You remember that issue? We had issues with AGOA, but it's not the reason why but we need to move slow. You increase the excise duty, because even some people who were importing second-hand clothes at that time went into other businesses because of the excise duty imposed on them. So you could see we had already started seeing movement, because I know of some people who are selling second-hand clothes that are doing poultry and are doing very well, that have gone into farming and are doing very, very well, that have gone into processing food like maize, and they're doing well. I have several companies. So we are still discussing. NBS is under us, is in our sector, and we are still discussing. It will be a gradual process.
Well, as we get out of here, Honorable, you've been quite assertive lately. We see you when the president is addressing. Are you standing for the Muntua Wansi, or there's just something that you feel uncomfortable with?
That one is a bit difficult, because that is a perception. So it is your perception, I cannot.
It has rattled a number of people. Some people feel maybe you're out of order.
I know. I have, first of all, I have a problem, is that I'm very outspoken. And some people misunderstand that to be indisciplined in a way. I'm sorry to say. Besides that, I interact with a lot of in many ways on my phone.
You're the voice of the audience.
They call me the whole night. So I know their feelings. I know. My phone is on the whole night. They call me about this, about that, about that. And I always have a bit of empathy over them. But then it is also mentorship. When I worked with the president all those years, I learned a lot from him, his concern for the ordinary person. A lot through that mentorship. And I've had it all these years. So sometimes it's very difficult now to balance the mentorship I got with what I should be doing and I shouldn't be doing. But
you'll continue voicing for them.
I'll continue voicing for them, because we need to have a balance between this person, because this person is the one who builds us, is the anchor. We are all of us, that ordinary person is our anchor. How did I get here? I got here through that person. So if that person, my base, or your base, or our economy's base, because they are our economy, if they are not happy, they are not comfortable, what are we doing up here? There is a vacuum. How do you feel that vacuum?
So does it give you a sense that some people are detached, those who are criticizing you for being out of order?
Those who are criticizing me, I think, need to learn more lessons about how to balance our communities or our societies. Or it's a bit difficult because it's more of a perception issue. Now that is your perception, that is their perception. So it's very difficult for me to
You'll continue doing
defend
your work. But thank you very much for joining us. Did you get the 20 million?
I have to
allotted to MPs.
Allotted MPs. I have to check with my bankers and see. But
is this a windfall for MPs?
Well, I think it was a bit untimely. I think it was a bit untimely. Because getting that money when we are in this state, when the country is in this state, when health needs money, when people are not working, I think it was a bit untimely. Although, I must say, an MP spends a lot of money in their constituencies. Because there used to be a fund for the MPs of 10 million to support every year, to support their constituents or their constituencies in availing needs, helping them. But now the pressure is also too much. So it has two sides to it. It is untimely, but also the demands on a member of parliament are too high. Because, for example, I can cite myself as an example.
Are you also distributing food?
This time, no, I will not distribute food. I will not distribute food because I think we need to look at the post-COVID recovery, economic recovery. For me, what I will do is I will support the groups that I trained. I trained a number of groups in my area, in every sub-county. And
to fend for themselves.
To fend for themselves.
Okay.
And I promised to support them. So that is when this lockdown came in, when I was still planning. Of course, if I had got that 20 million, it would have helped me to support them. How do I support them? I promised every small group 500,000. I promised every small group some 300,000. So it would have helped me. But if I have to, but it's bad money. Yeah, I have to return it. I'll struggle and raise that one. If I'll go to the bank. If I find it, I'll return it. So as the law says, I'll return it to the
consolidated fund.
Where it is supposed to go. Where did they tell us? They gave us an account where we're supposed to say, I'll return it. What do I do?
You don't like it?
Well, it's a bit tricky. I'll consult. I'll consult my people.
Thank you very much, Honorable Amelia Chambade. It's really been heartwarming having you.
But I wish you all a happy Ramadan.
Could you just send a message to Muntu Wawa and say, I want to wabulijo?
Muluganda. Neda kansoka abasiramu. Abasiramu bannange, I wish you a happy Ramadan.
Tuli muluganda.
Bannange. Anti kati oluzungu onjisa.
Olokize.
Nsigadde muloko. Kakati bannayuganda mwenna ekisooka mbeebaza okumpuliriza. Nze omuntu wa wansi saga muyita muntu wa wansi, nze muyita muntu wa bulijjo. Kubanga gwe musingi gwe tuyimiriddeko ffenna. Nkwebaza olw'okugumiikiriza embeera yonna gy'oyiseemu. Naye ate nkusaba oyongere okugigumira, olowooze wa gy'oyagala okulaga. Eno essaawa yakwezuula. Nze neezudde ebintu bingi mu lusirika luno. Ndowoozeza obulamu bwange gye nvudde, gye ndaze, ensobi ze nkoze n'ebiki bye njagala okulongoosaamu. Naye naawe kati eno essaawa yo, kubanga obwongo obuyina. Abantu b'emawokota mbatumidde, simanyi oba nzikirizibwa okubyogerako ebyo. Mbatumidde mwebale nnyo, obuwagizi mbamanyi, munkubira obusimu, emmere, naye bannange emmere naawaani ndekaani, kubanga mwenna mbaagala nnyo. Nze mbadde njagala tupulaninge engeri gye tugenda okwejja mu kintu kino kye tuyiseemu mu bwavu. Nze ndooza epulaani tukole ekintu ky'obuwangaazi, kubanga emmere ojja kulyako, nja kuwa kilo 3, naye kilo 3 zinaakutwalawa. Ojja ziryako ne famire y'ekiro kya leero, enkyo ojja kusigala ng'oyayuya. Nze ndowooza nti tulongoose ekintu eri programu eri ya MTAC gya training. Tubateekemu ssente, programu zitandika okutambula.
Ate
omusuubuzi gwakati essaawa yakakati tandika okulowooza ku biki byolaba nti osobola obisuubula naye ng'ate obisuubulira mu region. Tandika ebimu okubitwala e Kenya, e Tanzania. Wewaawo tulinayo okusomoozebwa mu nsi ezitwetoolodde, naye ate n'African Continental Free Trade Area naye tusobola okubitwalayo. Bw'oba omaze ebyo, bino byonna bye tukolera wano babyetaaga. South Sudan abyagala, Congo, twagulawo omukutu n'endagaano twagikola n'ab'e Congo. Eryo ekkubo nalyo weeriri, twalayo ebintu byo. Ate tutandika okulowooza okukolera obutono. tujja kuyambako nga gavumenti okulaba kyokola. Njagala mwebaze president w'eggwanga olw'omulimu gwakoze. Njagala mwebaze ne ministry ya health. Mbagala nnyo.
Well, that's all time we had for this morning with Honorable Amelia Chambade, Minister for Trade and Investment and Industry. Thank you very much for and industry.
Trade industry and cooperatives.
Trade industry and cooperatives. Thank you. Good morning.